I was asked to do a video response to this Buddy Morris clip, so here it is. This clip has been making the rounds on Instagram. I've seen it a ton.
So somebody needs to explain to me how they correlate with the actual sport of football, because they're specific to the movement being developed only.
So he says that someone needs to explain to him how the Olympic lifts correlate to the sport of football. He doesn't know what correlation means. Correlation refers to a statistical relationship between bivariate data. How is one variable, X, correlated to another variable, Y? But the standard of how is this exercise correlated to the sport is never applied to other exercises like it is to the Olympic lifts. And none of the metrics that are tested at the NFL Combine are correlated to NFL performance. Vertical jump, broad jump, 40, bench press, none of those things are correlated to an NFL player's career earnings, career longevity, career stats, career accolades. There has been long-term studies on this. So if he wants to make an argument that we should only be using exercises that correlate to football performance, good luck finding that. Football performance and sports performance in general are multifactorial. But I'll be charitable to him and assume that he means that the Olympic lifts don't have a high degree of transfer to football. And if you follow me for long enough, you know that I think the transferability argument or the dynamic correspondence argument is poor. But I'll provide aspects of the Olympic lifts that might provide transfer to the sport of football for Buddy. Creating propulsion on an external body of mass and then having to yield that mass within milliseconds. Sounds a lot like football. Rapidly dropping your center of mass to gain better leverage on an external body of mass. This of course leads to a rapid change in shin angle. Sounds like a good quality to have in football. Rapidly and even subconsciously entering deeper ranges of motion in a variety of your joints. Hips, knees, ankles, shoulders. Sounds like that might be helpful in football. Now, obviously there's more to it, but I'll leave it there. I've elaborated on this plenty in other videos and in my ebook Cost Olympic.
Remember, strength training is nothing more than one thing. It's GPP for the athlete. They're general movement patterns that we try to make specific to the sport of football. Okay? It's not specific. It's that simple.
So then he says strength training is GPP for the athlete, but we try to make the Olympic lift specific. This doesn't make sense. Yes, all training is GPP. Saying we as in strength and conditioning coaches try to make them specific implies that we're changing some aspect of the lifts, but also implying that the lifts done as they're originally intended is just GPP. But the way they're done and implemented in football is a way to try to make them specific to football. That doesn't make sense. No one's trying to change the way you clean and jerk and snatch to make them more specific to football. You just do the lifts as they are. And it's still just good general training.
It's too much of a neurological content because you're always grabbing and gripping.
And he says it's too neurologically demanding. This is just wrong. Olympic lifts aren't that fatiguing. Just like any other form of exercise, it just needs to be appropriately programmed. Doing something like 3 triples of a power clean, so not even a full clean, so the absolute load is lower. And for the sake of simplicity, just assume that each rep takes 1 second. 3 sets of 2 of power cleans is 6 total reps. That's 6 total seconds of work, spread apart by probably 8 to 10 seconds of rest between reps and a couple of minutes of rest between sets. That's not too demanding, even in season. Cleans are a really good way to get a strength stimulus in season without creating too much fatigue. I explained this in my video, Cleans Are Your Squats. You can do like 3 hard sets of cleans with 70 to 80% of your front squat. So if you catch the bar in a full squat, that's 3 doubles of front squats at 70 to 80%. That's easy.
They're going to be a shitty Olympic lifter and a great football player, or a shitty football player and a great Olympic weightlifter. The body is incapable of developing 2 primary skills that are highly stressful to the CNS that don't support each other at the same time.
The body isn't capable of developing 2 primary skills that are highly stressful to the CNS that don't support each other at the same time. This just isn't true. You can develop more than 1 skill or physiological quality concurrently. This is what high-level CrossFitters do. And the Olympic lifts, as a stimulus to the organism, absolutely supports the qualities of a football player. And it's not like the skills in football are so neurologically taxing that it takes away your ability to train hard. Like I always say, if you don't want to do the Olympic lifts, that's fine. But so much of the rationalization behind it is so poor. Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing from so-called high-level strength and conditioning coaches. So that's just my reaction and my take to that clip. Thanks for watching. See you next video.